Hello, good afternoon. First of all, I start with a brief introduction about Frosty Scott Fitzgerald. Um, he was an American novelist and a short story writer whose work at the guardian of the Jazz Age. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest American writers of the 20th century. Fitzgerald is considered a member of the Lost Generation. And The Great Gatsby is one of their best works. Um, the story I decided to read was Gretchen's 40 Weeks, and I think it reflects a little the author's life with his wife. Before I begin to tell this story, seems interesting to mention that 40 winks does not refer to a wink of your eye. In fact, the author is a way to refer a way to take a nap. The story begins when Rogers returns at home, apparently not have time to many activities that are not working, and get to talk to his wife about an important issue. And he talks to her and tell her that to have a busy work weeks and it's vital to be selected for a project that will make them rich. However, Gretchen is described as a beautiful woman, apparently enjoy having a social life. For this reason, Roger asks to be kept at home without leaving so he can work at night without accepting visit for anyone. Um, Gretchen accepts, not very happy, but at dinner with his neighbor Tompkins towards if a more friendly neighborhood from them. Roger accepts. At the dinner, Tompkins advises Roger on how to have a more balanced life between work and share his daily routine that seems perfect and balanced. However, Roger acts a bit rude about it, and when does not have even have time to take a shower every day. Um, Back home, Rachel tells her husband if he believes it's to be true Pumpkin's invitations to ride. This tell him not believe and not believe his daily cold showers. Um, Weeks passed, and Rogers begins to work on her project and come home from work and immediately start putting the work's materials on his table. Meanwhile, it's aware that Gretchen's to call out several times with Tompkins to ride a horse, go to the theater, and is had him give her a painting that has hung in his room. One day, Gretchen tells Rogers that invited Tompkins to dinner. Rogers asks her to cancel, but she insists and she has already said that call in your way. Tompkins appears in their house and tells Roger, and Roger decides to go work in his room. They have problems working there and concentrating, listening the voices and murmurs of Rachel and Tompkins. So he decides to go downstairs and they tell Rachel spoke of him and his health. It's not good to work hard. Rogers gets angry and asks Tompkins to leave. And Tompkins leaves, but before still returns that will be at 10. Rachel's very angry, tells Rachel that will not sit against Tompkins. She begins to cry and tell him that he does if his only friend and asked him to leave his home. And Rogers tell her that there shall see anymore. What she answered that will see it as long as she wants. which is not be funny, start with him. Roger replies angry, said and leave and no return. And she will spend these days sleeping, um, which she replies that she's tired to sleep. Very angry, looks herself go in her bedroom. That night, Rogers begins to tremble for overwork and has a kind of hallucination um, until he falls asleep on her couch. The next day, he realizes that only missing a day of work and did not want to Gretchen out with Tompkins. So he occurs to go visit the doctor of pharmacy and buy sleeping pills, lodging of the coughing Gretchens. She is totally asleep and drinking it, and Roger decides to take Gretchen's clothes in a suitcase. And the next day, Rogers gave the biggest account and returned to home to tell the good news to Gretchen. She was happy to know that Rogers earned a lot of money and could buy dresses and a new home. But she was worried about it must be Thursday and not Friday. And Roger showed the newspaper the day and she went crazy since also his shoes has disappeared. She decides call the doctor. When the doctor arrived, Gretchen tells her that she was skipping a one day and that they have to go out with Tompkins. The doctors tell her that Tompkins had a nervous breakdown in the shower. She tells him that it not be possible because he always spoke about to live a balanced life. The doctor says that he had a lot of pressures to want to live a balanced life. And the doctor recommended her to rest for 40 days. Roger asked about him to he was a lot working and the doctor tell him that he looks better than ever. And this concludes the story. I think that this story reflects most of the daily lives of many people who becomes addicted to work, workaholics, and the other hand, women who are very materialistic like Rachel and expect their husband time but also expect to live a very comfortable way. Regarding the personal life of Fitzgerald, met and fell in love with Zelda, the daughter of a colonel. Zelda accepted his marriage proposal, but after some time and despite working an advertisement firm and writing short histories, he was unable to convince her he would be able to support her, leaving her break off the engagement. Or this reason, I think his personal life is related to his history.